So I'm going to teach you how to prepare unripe plantain pottage using unripe plantain, or some people call it green plantain. This plantain, I just brought it out from the fridge because I didn't want it to get ripe with the rest of the bunch, so I just separated it from the fridge. So before I do it, I'm going to wash this plantain very thoroughly, and while I show you how to prepare the pottage, I'll be giving you some health benefits of unripe plantain. Okay, some of them you never knew, so stay tuned because I'll be dropping in the health benefits while I show you how to prepare unripe plantain pottage. Okay, so stay tuned. So I'll start by washing my plantain. My tap is not flowing. It's best to wash it under a flowing tap, but I'm going to pour water and make sure I give this a thorough wash. All right. So while I'm doing this, I'll be giving you some health tips, telling you why you should eat more of unripe plantain or incorporate unripe plantain into your diet. Like, eat it about 3 times weekly, okay, and you testify about the difference in your health. Okay, unripe plantain is very, very nutritious. I call it superfood. It's what going to your grocery for, leaving your home and driving to the grocery just to get unripe plantain. It's going to be worth your while, I promise you. So unripe plantain is very, very nutritious. It contains fiber and complex carbohydrates, okay, and we know that complex carbohydrates are slow in digestion. They digest very slowly, and it's one food that has a very low glycemic index for those people that are diabetic and don't want a glucose spike in their blood level, in their blood stream. Unripe plantain is a very good diet for diabetic people. So let me continue with my gist. So apart from the carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates and fiber in unripe plantain, it's also very rich in vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin B6, and vitamin C. And we know what vitamins are good for. We know the very important reasons for incorporating vitamins in our daily diet. Vitamins are antioxidants, so I'll be chopping up the plantain this way because I don't want it to be too small. There are studies that have shown that people who have cancers, they lack vitamin C in their diet. And do you know that just 1 cup of unripe plantain contains the recommended amount of vitamin C that we're supposed to take on a daily basis? So if you take just a cup of unripe plantain, you've already received the amount of vitamin C that you require for the whole day. Unripe plantain is also very rich in potassium, and we know what potassium does. Potassium is very important for your heart health. because it regulates the electrolyte levels in the body fluids, okay, and in the cells as well. That is how it controls your heart health. It affects your heart health. The electrolytes, the potassium level will help to balance out the sodium in your body fluid, okay? So, by the way, we need more of potassium than sodium in blood, okay? That is why doctors will always say, do not take added salt in your diet, because you know salt is sodium chloride. So people who are hypertensive, they always want to limit their salt intake. They want to limit their sodium intake. So potassium is very good for those who care about their heart health, their heart condition. It is good for us to always take potassium, lots of potassium. I think I'm going to drop the nutritional facts of unripe plantain in the description box, so endeavor to go to the description box and check it out, okay? It contains a very high level of potassium, which is good. It's also good for weight loss, okay? You know, when you're managing your weight, you also try as much as possible to avoid added salts and a lot of salt in your food. So because of the fiber content in unripe plantain, it helps our digestive health as well, okay? It helps to bulk up the stool. And you know, when the stool is more bulky, it's easier to pass out. Okay, so when you want to avoid constipation, just make sure you incorporate unripe plantain into your diet, your daily diet. Try as much as possible to take unripe plantain. Like 3 times in a week will be fine, and you will notice the clear difference in your health. Trust me, I have done this and I have seen the difference, and others have also given the same testimony. Unripe plantain is really a superfood. It's worth your while, okay? So always incorporate it. So as we cook, I'm going to be dropping other health benefits of unripe plantain. So don't go away. Stay tuned. This is going to be put into boiling water. Okay. You know, it also helps for weight management, since it's it digests very slowly. So unripe plantain will help to manage weight. It gives you the feeling of fullness because it takes a lot of time to get digested, so you have the feeling of fullness. You feel satiated for longer periods. Like this one, I'm going to have it by 12 noon because that's when I usually have my breakfast. I try to do some form of intermittent fasting, so I usually have my breakfast around 12 noon. So when I have this by 12 noon, I won't feel hungry until about 6:30 p.m. in the evening, when I will be having my last meal before I go to bed. So unripe plantain is a very good weight management food, okay, because of the rich fiber content. Okay, so it's going to help you manage your weight. So always incorporate it into your diet. Of course, we know that it has carbohydrate, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it is bad for weight control. Okay, it is very good for weight control because it has a low glycemic index and it takes time to digest. It digests very slowly, so it gives you the feeling of fullness. And remember, the key is moderation. Okay, don't do anything in excess, because if you eat this in excess, of course you're going to put on some weight. But when you do it moderately, just have like 1 cup of it for your breakfast in the morning. Trust me, you will be fine. You will notice the changes in your weight. You won't gain weight, you will rather be losing weight. Okay, so I think this is going to be sufficient for 3 of us this morning. This is just about 4 unripe plantain. So check out the calorie content of plantain, just one medium-sized unripe plantain in the description box, so that if you're counting calories, you have an idea of how much of unripe plantain you should be eating. Okay, so I'm going to put this into the boiling water, and I'll still be dropping more tips of eating unripe plantain, or more health tips that you never knew about. Okay, I'll be dropping them one after the other, so stay tuned. So the water is boiling in the pot, and I want to show you the ingredients that I'll be using to prepare this unripe plantain pottage. Okay, so this is some sweet Jos tomatoes from Jos. I just call it Jos tomatoes because they are usually sweeter than the ones that are grown in Benue State and in some other states. So I always prefer using Jos tomatoes, especially when they are in season. And of course my Scotch bonnet pepper, it was frozen. So that's why it's looking, you can see the frost on the body. You can use as much Scotch bonnet as you want, depending on how spicy you want your food to taste. I'll be using crayfish. It's another source of iron. You know that unripe plantain also contains iron. Okay, and then I'll be using some beef for my protein, because unripe plantain is not really rich in protein, so I will need to add some protein. So I'm going to boil this and have it diced up. I'll be adding it to my unripe plantain, and then some palm oil. I'm not going to be using a lot because we know that palm oil is very rich in calories. So I'm going to use just about 1/4 of a cup for the unripe plantain. And of course this is my unripe plantain. Like I told you earlier on, unripe plantain is rich in potassium, is also rich in magnesium, and one other health benefit is that when you eat unripe plantain, it forms an antacid-like effect in your gastrointestinal tract or in your stomach. So if you have ulcer, it can also help to heal the ulcer over time. Okay, so that is one other health benefit of unripe plantain. As we proceed, I'll be dropping in more, so stay tuned. I'm also going to be using onion, but I haven't prepared my onion. I'm going to grind my onion together with my tomatoes and Scotch bonnet pepper. Finally, I'm going to be adding some pumpkin leaf, popularly called ugu in Nigeria. Okay, so I have arranged my tomatoes, onions and pepper to be blended, and I'm going to blend it. So as soon as the water comes to a boiling point, I will then proceed to add in my ingredients. I will start by adding in my blended ingredients, tomatoes, pepper and onions. I'll pour it into the water. Okay, yeah, then I'll add in some salt. Some seasoning cube. I'm excited. Our plantain is getting ready. Okay, you know that plantain is very versatile. You can boil it, you can make pottage with it, you can roast it, you can even fry it, and it turns out as plantain chips, what we call Kcal. Okay, so it's a very versatile food. That's one of its advantages. And then for men, I want to leave this tip with you. If you have low sperm count, a study has shown that unripe plantain, eating unripe plantain or incorporating it into your diet on a regular basis would help boost your sperm count. Okay, so try that out and come back with results. Okay, so I'm going to add in the palm oil as well. This is 1/4 cup, as I already mentioned earlier on. Okay, so because our unripe plantain boils, you know, it boils, it cooks faster than the tomatoes, I'm going to hold on a bit. I'll steam this for just a bit, about 5 minutes, before I add in the plantain. It's now time to add in the unripe plantain. Okay, I'll add it in gradually. Okay, and then we also add in our diced beef. Our ground crayfish is going to be added in last. So it's time to add in my vegetables. So I'm going to add in the vegetables now, and then I'll cover it to steam. Okay. I'll steam it a bit before I stir it. Now it's time to add in the crayfish. So I'm going to add in the crayfish, and then I'll stir it. I don't want to stir it too much. Unripe plantain pottage is ready to be served now. So this portion size is just right for an adult male. This is just about 1.5 cup full of unripe plantain pottage. Okay, as usual, I like to take a glass of water before I start to do justice to this. It is very delicious. So lastly, but not the least, incorporating unripe plantain in your diet, at least on a weekly basis, will help to boost your libido. Okay, so you can take this last thing before you go to bed if you want to use it for that purpose. So I hope you enjoyed my video, and I hope you've learned a lot about the health benefits of unripe plantain and why you should incorporate it into your diet. Thank you for watching my video. As usual, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, thank you very much. God bless you and have a wonderful day. Bye.